G'day guys and welcome back to GOHANS_gaming for another Dokkan battle video. So for today's video we're going to be looking over the details for the part 2 LR. The info dropped like 2 hours ago, so I'm a little bit late to this one, but we are getting a new Ultimate Gohan. Look, we sort of thought that this was definitely going to be an option. I know I personally would have preferred like a boost, a boo style unit like a boo tanks. I mean not a boo tanks, a Boohan or even a kid boo. But anyway, Ultimate Gohan's here. He'll obviously work really well with the TEQ Gohan who just EZA'd. So let's jump in and check out his details. So for the leader skill here, here's a Majin Buu Saga / Saviors 150%. Pretty irrelevant. Yellow coin LRs you're not really utilizing for their leader skill. So his passive, he does have an entrance animation where he gets key +6 and all allies, well, for the rest of battle, and then all allies 58% defense for 2 turns from their first entry when there are 2 or more Majin Buu Saga allies on the team. So that's huge, especially when you consider that for a unit like TEQ Ultimate Gohan, who's going to be stacking when it's early on in the event, which is when he's sort of a little bit dicey, I guess. So you're getting extra defense for him to, really buff him up early on. So gets key 3 and 180% attack and defense, which is good, and he guards all attacks. So they continue on with sort of the Ultimate Gohan vibes there with the guards. That's really good. He orb changes a certain type, excluding AGL, to AGL key spheres when he's on a full Majin Buu Saga rotation. So that's going to be pretty regular, I would have thought. Gets an additional attack and defense plus 58% when keys 12 or more, plus an additional 58, and launches an additional attack that has a great chance, so 70% chance, of becoming a super when keys 18 or more. So that automatically opens it up to turns to be able to triple super straight off that. Defense plus 20% for Majin Buu category allies, so that's really good. Self-excluded though. And then plus an additional attack plus 58% when activating the active skill or keys 24, so that's good there. Launches 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super. So that's when facing one enemy whose HP is... Oh wait, is that limited? Each of which has a medium chance when facing one enemy whose HP is 80. Okay, so when you've sort of got the enemy dwindled downs, when you can do 6 billion supers by the looks of how that is written. But yeah, able to do 3 supers straight off the bat there. Does have an active skill, the Burst Rush, which can be activated when facing only one enemy whose HP is 58% or less, or when there's another Buu Saga ally attacking the same turn from the 6th turn. So pretty easy condition there. You get the full 24 key, which activates the passive, and then 58% defense for 1 turn. So pretty good. For our links, we've got Infighter, All in the Family, Cold Judgment, Shocking Speed, Power Bestowed by God, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. So very much like the TEQ Ultimate Gohan's link set, which is to be expected. For his super attack effect on the 12 key, you raise attack for 3 turns, and then raise defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage, so getting additional super is going to be really, really valuable there. Anytime you can get those extra defense buffs in. Then we've got a second post here, so the 18 key is a attack stack, which is not too bad, can be really, really helpful for when you're doing an active skill that has damage like this Gohan has. Then you also raise defense for 1 turn and cause Mega Colossal. So, still getting defense on super, which is good. Then we also do have a unit super, which is with the 18 key, and when you've got a Goten Trunks or Gotenks attacking in the same turn. And that one greatly stacks your attack, raises defense for 1 turn, and causes Mega Colossal damage to the enemy. Raises ally defense by 58% for 1 turn. So if you're able to get this off in slot 1, where if you get lucky and there's not too many attacks there, that could be super, super impactful. 58% is a lot of support. So definitely a fire unit super attack. The only thing is that I know we are getting the EZAs for the Trunks and Goten, and we do have the Int Gotenks to EZA. But Oh, and this guy's actually on Kamehameha, so that does come into play. So, as I mentioned, we do know that we're getting a bunch of sub EZAs. Shout out to Minato here. He has done translations for these EZAs, and we'll run through these, and you'll see why that sort of is valuable. So, we have the EZA for the STR Margin Buu Good. Unfortunately, shares the same name as the new Int unit, so probably going to be tough to rock this guy, but his STR 100% 3 key for his leader. He greatly raises attack for 1 turn, raises defense for 1 turn, and then has an AoE with a medium chance to stun. So always going to be really useful for something like SBR. For his passive, changes int to STR key spheres and 150%, then gets attack and defense 50% per STR key sphere obtained, launches an additional super when collecting 5 key spheres, and then when there is a Margin Buu Saga ally in the same turn, reduces damage by 30% when collecting 3 or more key spheres, and then additional 3% per STR key sphere after that 4th key sphere. So, yeah, say if you got the 23 key spheres there, you get an extra 60%, which would put him at 90, which would be pretty insane. But yeah, the name sort of puts a big old damper in this Buu, but he looks like he'll be a pretty handy unit. We've also got the EZA for the Int Hercule, a unit that I still use in Battlefield or in Super Battle Road today. So for him, he gets to greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. I did read Minato actually said there, ignore the AoE part, but he causes supreme damage and has a high chance to stun. That's just a mistype. And then super attack transformation, 50% chance of super attack transforming and Tien appearing. Power will be supremely boosted for 5 turns. So whatever that means. For his passive, he gets 150% attack and defense when performing a super. Has a high chance or a 50% chance to dodge when HP is 50% or above, plus an additional 10% to evade enemies. Plus an additional, yeah, I don't know what. Maybe with each dodge. Is that a mod? Like, does that? Yeah, I'm not too sure there. Reduces damage received by 50 to 90%. The less HP, the more damage. No, the less HP remaining, the less damage reduction received. I swear he was the opposite. So I don't know if that's accurate. But then he also gets attack and defense 50% and all allies attack and defense minus 10% per Margin Buu Saga category ally attacking in the same turn. So capping at 20%. I'm not 100% sure on those details, but I think he'll be a very good sort of battlefield SBR style unit. So we've also got the Int Go tanks. He's a Kamehameha 3 key 120 or int/physical 3 key 90. He greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and then raises ally attack by 40%. For his passive, it's attack and defense plus 180%, reduces damage by 50%. He then gets an additional 120% attack and reduces damage received by an additional 30% when performing a super if there is an ally whose name includes Trunks or Krillin attacking in the same turn. So it can get up to 80% post super, which is really, really insane. All allies in the Kamehameha category, key plus 1 and 50, attack plus 50%, and chance to perform a crit plus 20% as the first attacker. I think with 50% damage reduction, if there's not too many attacks in slot 1, you could probably get away with that. All allies, well, Kamehameha allies 2 key 70% attack and chance to perform a crit plus 30% as the second attacker, and then key plus 3 attack 120% when performing a super attack, and high chance to perform a crit as the third attacker. So if you want that support, it is going to have to be either slot 1 or 2 for this Goten. And Trunks is literally the exact same. The only difference is obviously you need Goten as your to activate the part of his passive for the extra damage reduction there. So running those two as a tandem, I imagine it's going to be pretty effective as long as there isn't too many attacks in slot 1 for you there. So then the final EZA or sub EZA here is for the physical Buu tanks. So 3 key, 100%. I assume that's attack and defense to physical. For his super attack, greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage and seals super, so at least he gets defense on super. Passive is superclass enemies minus 30% attack and 80% defense. Key +1 and 100% attack and defense. 150% attack and defense when performing a super, so automatically that means he's going to be a slot 2 or 3 unit. Then gets 2 key attack and defense plus 100% and reduces damage by 30% when all units on the rotation are Bunch and Boo Saga allies. Performs a crit when the target enemy is attack or defense down. So probably not as much in his kit as we would like. I would love to have seen him get some more utility, I guess we'll call it. I think getting, like, even if it had just been a 30% chance to dodge would have been really, really valuable for a unit like this. But what can you do? It's a sub EZA. At worst, he's going to help fill out the Boo team for someone and just offer as like a slot 7 unit. So that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts. I think Ultimate Gohan will definitely work because he's going to have a lot of friends that we can rock him with, and Majin Buu Saga is so good. But I still stand by. I would have rathered like a Boo style unit. But let me know your thoughts on him down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content. And hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.